Well, it's been cold, snowy, rainy, windy, so it must be the time of year to start building quads. Let me show you the one I just finished up yesterday. So last winter, this was the only real indoor model that I had. It's the Emax Tiny Hawk S. It runs on 1S batteries. It's very lightweight. Actually, it's fun to fly. It doesn't have a really good image on the FPV feed, so I had to change the camera out there. But I wanted to come up with a new platform for this year where I can carry the Insta360 GO camera. Now, I started off using my Larva X, which I have been flying outside, which is basically a 2.5-inch form factor. I have done some modifications to the basic design. I've added the ducts. I've added a mount below for my Insta360 GO. This is my own design. You can buy these on eBay. And this does fly pretty well inside, but I don't really like the idea of having the camera below, plus the FPV feed coming off of this. Because the camera's in the center, you see the ducts in the imagery, and that kind of obstruct you a little bit when you're trying to zip around inside. So I didn't really like to use this as my platform for this winter. I also have a Emax Tiny Hawk Freestyle that I've added the GO mount to, and then I've also designed some prop guards. Both of those you can buy on eBay, in my eBay store. This also flies pretty well inside with these guards on. It's only 74 grams, which is pretty light for a model of this size. It's a 2.5-inch form factor with these props. It's a great flying model, but I think it's really better flying outside than inside. Another angle I had was to have an indoor version of my 2.5-inch Wren, which I do like this form factor with a normal top-bottom plate frame, good sturdy ducts, 2.5-inch props. But again, this size is a little bit too big for inside. It's 122 grams. So I'm thinking I could probably design something that was lighter, and we're using maybe a 2-inch prop size instead of the 2.5, and see if I can come up with something that's a little better fit for indoor flying. So after doing a bunch of looking around, I found a frame on Amazon. It was like $15. Carbon fiber top and bottom plate. It could take both a 20 and a 16 by 16 stack. And so I chose the iFlight SucceX F4 stack, and I'll go through some of that in a little bit. But by doing this, I'm able to have a good platform to put the GO in the front on top. I'm using the camera that I prefer, which is this Runcam Phoenix 2, which I've used on my Wren and other models. It's really a good indoor and outdoor camera. The only difference is it's a 19mm form factor, so I did have to design and print up some mount for that camera in the front, but you can tell it's well protected, so this should be a good overall design. I'm using the Beta FPV motors, same ones that come on the 85X, so I should have a nice reliable platform here. And this ended up weighing in, as you see it here, at just at 100 grams. So let me give you a little bit more details and show some more pictures. So I thought I'd go over some of the parts that I used. The first thing I bought was this 98mm ducted prop guarded carbon fiber frame meant for a 2-inch prop. What's nice is it's got a 3mm bottom plate, 2mm top plate. These are metal struts, which are very nice, and it was only $16. Unfortunately, it's currently not available. The next thing I bought was a 16 by 16 iFlight SucceX F4 version 2.1 stack, which includes the 15 amp ESC on the bottom with plug-in motors, a F4 flight controller in the center there, and you can see the direction that the USB connector is, so you can tell you ideally want to have that connector facing front to back with the motors coming out either side to feed the quad. Then on top of the built-in VTX, and what I kind of liked about this setup is the controller plugs into the ESC and the VTX plugs into the controller, so you don't have a cable running between the three of these. What you do is you have a UFL connector here for your VTX antenna. There is a connector on the other side of the controller for the camera, and the only one thing you have to do is wire in your receiver into these three pads right here on the middle front there. Now when I put this all together, I kind of have a list here. So I got the frame, I've got the motors, I've got the flight controller, the FrSky XM Plus receiver, the antenna, camera, and it rolls up to about $162. Obviously when I started off I didn't think it was going to cost that much, but I can't see of anything else here that would be that much less. So I think it's pretty good. And then I compared to some of the ready-to-fly models that have basically the same characteristics. It's well over $200. And just dry weight, as I said, about 100. Add 24 grams for the camera and mount, and then one battery would be put it up to 168 grams flight weight, which is pretty darn good, I think, for what I've got going here. So here's a picture of it when I just have the stack mounted on the frame. You can see I put the three pieces together ready, and not really thinking that much further ahead. I really shouldn't have done that, because you do have to solder into that middle board with your receiver. Here I show where I had soldered on the power and the capacitor, which comes with the kit. Here's showing how I had to take the top board off and then wire in the receiver. This is the FrSky XM Plus. I put some heat shrink around it to protect it so it wouldn't be shorted out touching any metal parts in the quad. This is how it, once I put the VTX back on. Again, it comes with all the hardware parts. Here's where I got the camera mounted now. And the camera, actually they come with a cable that basically plugs right from the controller right to this particular camera. So that was pretty nice. They didn't have to do any soldering on that part. Here's where I mounted the VTX antenna. I put a cable tie around it to hold that down. I had a lot of problems with these UFL connectors popping out. So this was one way. I've also ordered some adhesive to hold that down even better. Here we are with my printed frame for the camera itself. Kind of looking at it before I put the top cover on. This is all buttoned up. And this is what it looks like from the side before I put the motors and the ducts on. Alright, so after I got the motors put on, plugged in, got the ducts on, everything up and running, passed the smoke test, got a good VTX feed to my goggles. Then it was a matter of setting up the parameters in the OSD, setting up my switches on the transmitter, getting that to match up through Betaflight, and then obviously you go to check the motors, and it turned out not only were my motors going the wrong directions, they were mapped to the wrong configuration. Your normal lower right number 1, upper right number 2, lower left number 3, upper left number 4 wasn't mapping correctly, and so I had to figure that out. I had to go into the CLI on Betaflight and get those resources remapped. There's several videos on YouTube of how to do that. It's actually quite confusing. It took me a while for it to sink into my thick head, but I was able to figure it out, got them mapped correctly, and got the motor directions to be going the right direction for all 4 of them. When I got that all done, I put it down. I was going to do my first hover test, and it flipped out. Obviously I had something else wrong. Well, it turns out, since this is a generic stack, that controller in the center, he doesn't know which way is forward. They had assumed the forward was actually where I'm showing it would be to the right. They want the connector to go off the one side there instead of facing the back, which is a little inconsistent because they got the plug-in ESC with the connectors on the correct side. So just something to be aware of. You're going to have to go into Betaflight Configurator, and you're going to have to change the yaw setting, either 90 degrees or 270, depending on how you have things set up, if you're going to have that USB connector come either off the front or the back. Once you do that, you should be able to be set to go. I double-checked the motor resources after I made that change, and everything seemed to go well. So